With Jeremy Sumpter portraying Peter Pan and Rachel Hurd-Wood as Wendy, this flick explores the magical world of Neverland through detailed set designs and strong performances. While staying true to the essence of the original tale, the adaptation introduces some new aspects to enhance the narrative and experience of this well-known adventure. Ever After offers a grounded, historical take on the Cinderella legend, removing magical elements in favor of a more realistic 16th-century France setting. Drew Barrymore stars as Danielle, a spirited and intelligent young woman navigating life under the control of her stepmother, played by Angelica Houston. Kenneth Branagh's Cinderella adapts Disney's animated classic with a focus on visuals and an all-star cast. Lily James portrays the iconic princess, and Cate Blanchett takes on the role of the stepmother. The film remains true to the core elements of the fairy tale, including Cinderella's magical transformation and eventual triumph, while also exploring themes such as kindness, resilience, and personal growth. Robin Hood, directed by Ridley Scott and starring Russell Crowe, is a grittier and more grounded version of the legendary outlaw tale. The film explores the origins of Robin Hood, focusing on his early life as a soldier in King Richard the Lionheart's army and his rise to become the hero of Sherwood Forest. Mulan is the very debated live-action adaptation of Disney's animated classic, based on the Chinese legend of Hua Mulan. Liu Yifei stars as the protagonist, a young woman who disguises herself as a man to take her father's place in the Chinese army. While the title received generally positive reviews from non-Asian critics, the Chinese diaspora criticized the character development, its cultural and historical inaccuracies, and its depiction of Chinese people. Beauty and the Beast is the live-action adaptation of the beloved Disney animated film. Starring Emma Watson as Belle and Dan Stevens as the Beast, this version expands on the original story, offering more depth to the characters and their backstories. While staying true to the enchanting charm of the animated classic, the title introduces new musical elements and delves further into the Beast's curse. The Little Mermaid follows Ariel, portrayed by Halle Bailey, a mermaid princess who longs to explore life on land. The adaptation incorporates underwater visuals and introduces new songs, while reinterpreting key themes like love, sacrifice, and self-discovery, all while maintaining elements that made the original story memorable. Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland presents a live-action adaptation of Lewis Carroll's novel with a unique and surreal approach. Nia Wasikowska stars as Alice, who embarks on a journey through a darker version of Wonderland to confront the Red Queen and bring balance to the land. The film incorporates Burton's signature style, creating a visually distinctive take on the classic tale. Inspired by the Jack and the Beanstalk fairy tale, this film follows Jack, a young farm boy, who is thrust into a battle between humans and giants. With thrilling action scenes and a fantastical world filled with giants, the movie offers a reimagined version of the age-old tale. Released in 2019, Jon Favreau's The Lion King uses advanced CGI to recreate the 1994 animated film with lifelike visuals. The story follows Simba, the young lion navigating exile and destiny, alongside familiar characters like Mufasa and Scar. With voice performances from Donald Glover, Beyoncé, and James Earl Jones, the movie tries to follow the structure of the original while adopting a new visual style aimed at realism. Pan's Labyrinth is a dark fantasy film set in post-Civil War Spain during the early days of Franco's regime. Directed by Guillermo del Toro, the story follows a young girl named Ophelia, who escapes the harsh reality of her stepfather's oppressive rule by venturing into a mystical world. The filmmaker's use of fairy tale elements and the movie's dark, allegorical themes give it a haunting yet poetic quality, making it one of the most celebrated works in modern fantasy cinema. Snow White and the Huntsman is a darker and more action-packed version of the traditional Snow White fairy tale. Kristen Stewart stars as Snow White, with Charlize Theron as the evil queen and Chris Hemsworth as the huntsman. The picture takes a more mature approach to the story, incorporating epic battles and a quest to defeat the queen. Terry Gilliam's The Brothers Grimm takes inspiration from the real-life fairy tale collectors and transforms their lives into an adventurous fantasy-filled action film. Matt Damon and Heath Ledger star as the Grimm brothers, who are hired to investigate supernatural occurrences. The movie combines elements of folklore with a whimsical and darkly comedic approach. Pan presents an alternate origin story for Peter Pan, reinterpreting J.M. Barrie's iconic characters in a new light. Set before the events of the classic tale, the film follows a young Peter as he is whisked away to Neverland, where he encounters both allies and foes, including a flamboyant pirate Blackbeard, played by Hugh Jackman. Krampus draws from Central European folklore to explore the darker side of the holiday season. The story follows a dysfunctional family whose lack of holiday spirit unintentionally summons Krampus, a mythical creature that punishes those who lose faith in Christmas. Blending horror and dark comedy, the film incorporates practical effects and creature design to depict a nightmarish version of familiar traditions. Jon Favreau's The Jungle Book reimagines Rudyard Kipling's classic tale with a blend of live action and impressive CGI. The film tells the story of Mowgli, a young boy raised by wolves, as he faces the challenges of the jungle. Featuring voice performances from Bill Murray, Idris Elba, and Scarlett Johansson, the picture won accolades for achievements in visual effects at the 89th Academy Awards. Directed by Robert Zemeckis, Pinocchio revisits Carlo Collodi's classic tale through a mix of live action and CGI. The film centers on Geppetto, played by Tom Hanks, and his wooden creation, Pinocchio, who aspires to become a real boy. With updated visuals and a familiar narrative structure, this adaptation presents a contemporary interpretation of themes such as identity, family, and personal growth. King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, directed by Guy Ritchie, offers a bold reimagining of the Arthurian legend. Charlie Hunnam stars as Arthur, the reluctant heir to the throne, who must rise up against the tyrannical rule of his uncle, Vortigern. The film combines elements of fantasy and action with Ritchie's signature style, making for an adventurous and modern take on the ancient tale. This title takes the classic fairy tale of Hansel and Gretel and reimagines them as adult witch hunters seeking revenge on the witches who tormented them as children. The film is a dark fantasy action film with plenty of gore and humor, offering a twist on the traditional story. Directed by Guy Ritchie, the live-action version of Disney's Aladdin follows the story of a young street thief who discovers a magical lamp containing a genie. With Will Smith taking on the role of the genie, this version blends traditional elements with new songs and updated visuals. Red Riding Hood offers a darker, more suspenseful twist on the most famous fairy tale. Set in a medieval village, the story follows Valerie, played by Amanda Seyfried, who is caught in a love triangle while her village is terrorized by a werewolf. The film blends elements of mystery, horror, and romance, exploring themes of fear, betrayal, and transformation, while offering a fresh take on the traditional tale. Cruella offers a unique take on the infamous villain from The 101 Dalmatians. Set in 1970s London, the film follows Estella, a young fashion-obsessed woman with a rebellious streak, who gradually evolves into the iconic Cruella de Vil. Unlike previous portrayals of the character, this version focuses on Estella's journey within the fashion world, driven by ambition and rivalry, rather than her obsession with Dalmatians. Based on Roald Dahl's children's book, this adaptation directed by Steven Spielberg tells the story of a young girl who befriends a kind-hearted giant. While retaining the charm of the original tale, the film uses motion capture and CGI to bring its world to life. This film, directed by Sam Raimi, serves as a prequel to the classic The Wizard of Oz. It tells the story of how the wizard, played by James Franco, arrived in the magical land of Oz. With dazzling visuals and new characters, it explores the origins of iconic elements from the original tale, such as the Wicked Witch and the Yellow Brick Road. Maleficent tells the story of Sleeping Beauty from the viewpoint of its villain, Maleficent. Angelina Jolie plays the main character, depicting her as a misunderstood figure whose transformation into a villain is driven by betrayal. This adaptation of the classic Disney tale offers a fresh perspective on the familiar narrative, emphasizing new themes and character motivations.